Well, as parents, it seems like we are always thinking a season ahead. So you've probably already started considering what spring extracurricular hobbies or sports to sign your kid up for.
Yep, to give us a little bit of help in this area, we have DU child psychologist, Dr. Angela, Narayan. So before we get started into like what to do, what's the best fit for our child, why is this such like a daunting thing for parents to get into, even as young as, even as a 3-year-old, now's the time. Yeah. It is.
Yeah, it's such an interesting phenomenon to think about because as a millennial and a parent, who was raised by baby boomers, we had so many more opportunities than our parents did in terms of sports. But now as parents, there are exponentially more options and activities for our kids. And as a millennial generation, we're pretty competitive with each other, right? And so like, you're seeing like, that kid's doing that kid's doing this. Yep. I go through this a lot. Are my kids doing enough? Is it too much? Is it not enough? You know, like that internal dilemma. And so I have some tips about how to make that more of a thoughtful, intentional process.
Yeah, this can be so stressful.
Yeah.
Let's get right to those tips.
Yeah, so I think that it's helpful to think about what your family's values are and what you want your weekdays and weeknights and weekends to look like. So, you know, some families have a value of like skiing is really important to all of us and we want to be doing that because we live in a beautiful place and we have access to it and that's really important for everyone to learn. And some families have the value of like, I really want to be a coach of my own kid's sport team. And some have, I did this sport growing up and I really want my kid to experience it because it was such a positive influence for me. So whatever your value is, it's helpful to be intentional about it with yourself and your partner or your co-parent, and also tell your child, this is why we think this is really important. We want to do this as a family, or we want you to try this. Because when you're not grounded as a parent in these decisions, then it's like, well, this person's doing this, and now there's this opportunity, and like, oh my gosh, my kid's asking me to do this. And there's a lot of stress if you don't have a centered view on like how you're spending your time. So that's a way to kind of bring it back.
Well, and I'm curious because once you start getting to like middle school and high school, kids start to zero in and they've got their sport and it's no longer just a season, it is 365.
Right.
But selfishly asking for Evan and myself with younger kids, how many activities should we be aiming for? I kind of like try to go for 2 right now. We'll do like skiing and gymnastics, or in the fall we'll do ballet and soccer. Is that like, what is the guidelines of like how many it makes the most sense by age?
Totally. I think one thing that hasn't changed, even though over time and generations the amount of opportunities has, is that young kids, especially 5 and under, have always really liked to be with their parents and having family time. Like young kids like that. So if you're feeling like, I feel like this is too much, it's okay to pull back as a parent of young kids, to not feel like I need to be putting my young kids out there unless they're really asking for it. It's okay to have kids be at home and just slow down the pace, because when they get older, they're not going to want to be with parents. They're going to be off with their friends and they're going to be doing tons of right? So there's no right number, but if you as a parent are feeling like, wow, this is like not good for me and my stress levels, like my personal value on the weekend, one of them is to be able to nap.
Right.
So I'm like, I can't be running around all weekend. Like that interferes with my nap time. Like that's my value, you know?
That's amazing. But like that's self-care right there. So good for you for prioritizing yourself.
And I'm like,
too.
I will be a monster if I am too stressed and tired. And my value is I don't want to spend my whole weekend in the car.
Right.
So.
And we need to be there for our kids.
But other people want to be busy out of the house, you know, like, so whatever is important to you, decide what that is, be intentional about that, have a talk with your family, and then go from there. Because when you have stress, you can come back to those values. And that's not something everyone needs to do, but when you're feeling stressed, it's some good centering.
Great advice.
Truly, Dr. Narayan, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.